What's happening, guys? So we're going to do a little update. First things first, am I doing the strongest man on earth, the Shaw Classic? And then I'll update you with what's coming up the rest of the year. So before Worlds, about 2 weeks, it's probably my last deadlift session, 2 weeks before Worlds, doing the 18-inch deadlift. I'd set up, I think I had 430 in the bar, and I tweaked my back, my right hip. I don't know what it was, maybe a little bit off balance in the bar. And I went into spasm, and it wasn't the nicest of feelings. So didn't deadlift after that up until Worlds, got out to Worlds, did the deadlift in the heats. And once I took my belt off after deadlifts, it just started like quivering, like really like going into spasm. And yeah, I was really worried actually. That was after the second event. I think second event was deadlift. So went into the World's Strongest Man physio. Physio guys, they sorted me out, spent a couple of hours with me just relaxing my hip. And it kind of eased off. But it was really kind of, yeah, it just felt really bad. And with that hip injury, there was that imbalance, like the deadlift. My deadlifts aren't, the best in the world by any means, but they're better than what I performed at Worlds, and I was hoping that was going to be okay and get me through, but just a little bit weak. It is what it is, but this first block in training, this last 4 weeks, we've tried to rehab the hip, try and build that up, build that kind of strength on both sides. So fortunately, it seems to be going well. Last week, I was a 300 kilo deadlift in the stiff bar raw for 5 reps, pain-free, felt really comfortable, so there was a few more reps there. So that is a sign of things moving forward. So really happy with that. I've got the deadlift show coming up in Birmingham for Giants Live. That's the big show that I'm prepping for. I've got a new deadlift suit from Cerberus, so a big shout out to Cerberus for sending up the deadlift suit. So going to try and break that in over the next little while. So this next phase for me, training-wise, still working on that raw strength in the deadlift, but I've got 2 deadlift sessions a week. The second deadlift session, I'll be getting used to that suit, getting used to the new suit. It's a lot tighter, so hopefully that'll help me pull a little bit more once I get to grips with it, once I get to, you got to be confident in your deadlift suit. You've got to kind of manhandle that deadlift suit, and there's a few different things we're going to try. And hopefully it'll go well. So yeah, really looking forward to competing in Birmingham. That'll be in September time. Still waiting to hear the events, so we know that there's always going to be a deadlift, max deadlift, and then after that we will see. Obviously the big show, Brian's competition, the strongest man on earth. Brian reached out to me, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, just asking how I was feeling and if I'd be up for coming out and competing in the Shaw Classic. Obviously been there a few times before. But I had to turn down Brian's invite just because of my back and my injury. And, Brian's made it no secret that he wants this to be the heaviest show in the history of strongman, I think. And it's looking very much like that. And for me, with the way my back was feeling, I just wouldn't be able to kind of rehab it in time and be ready and confident to go out there and compete, especially with a show that heavy. And I think you have to be, we've seen it before in the Arnolds, when the Arnolds, had the heavy bale tote, how many kind of guys got injured with that. So I think you have to be fully prepared and fully kind of confident to go into a show like the strongest man on earth, and be fully ready. If you aren't ready, then I'm going to go and injure myself more. And we've seen Rain O'Neill pull out. I know Paddy Haynes turned down an invite, or a reserve. So I think that kind of shows, it's like 2 things for me. It's like the show is really heavy, and a lot of the guys are being smarter with their invites. If you want to turn down an invite, we should be okay. And you know, you should listen to your body, and you want to be fully prepared for that, because it's going to be an awesome show to watch. I'm really excited to watch it, but for me to compete in it, I'd have to have probably a good 12 weeks prep, especially with this back injury. But I'm confident in the rehab work that I've put in over the last 4 weeks, that I will be ready for the deadlift championships. But yeah, I think the small for me would be a little bit too premature to come back for, you know, especially there's events changing and stuff as well. So I guess event organisers are, you know, you're at the mercy of sometimes of sponsors. So if the sponsor wants you to change an event, or, you know, it's like Brian with the tyre flip, you know, we've taken that out. We're waiting for the guys are waiting for the other implement, whatever that might be. So, you know, you're at a bit of a waiting game until you get those things announced. And, you know, that's another thing for me. It's like, it might aggravate my back worse, you know, depending on the whatever the movement is. But yeah, it's going to be a good show. Obviously, Big Tommy's going out to do battle with all the guys. It would have been cool to see the Rhino, the world's strongest man, Rhino Nell, and Tom and Mitch and everyone else go at it. But I'm sure there's going to be plenty more shows that Rhino's going to be invited to. And yeah, I think Rhino's just, you know, he's got a job back home, a good job, so he's working out what's best for him and his family, and it's his life. So I think whatever he decides to do with his competitions, I think is the best choice for him. So he's won the biggest title for me still. So World's Strongest Man is the biggest title to win. He's done that as a rookie and like a first timer at Worlds, which is amazing to see. I still think it's unbelievable that he's done that. I can't wait to watch it back at Christmas time, and maybe next year, you know, he'll be in more of a better position to do like the bigger shows like the Smo and everything else, and I'm sure he's hungry to kind of go out and do that. But yeah, with that being said, I won't be doing Strongest Man on Earth this year. I won't be out there, unfortunately, to support Tom, just with, you know, personal commitments I've got back home. And yeah, I'll be there watching it though, or no, I won't be there, I'll be watching it online through Brian's streaming service. I think it's Shaw Strength, whatever it is, you can watch it on. So really excited to see it. I know Big Tom's, he just smashed a 250 kilo stone there at the weekend, so that's going to be really exciting. He's got some really heavy sessions coming up. I think he's planning going down to do his last couple of sessions with Shane down in Morecambe at Shane's facility, so that'll be really cool. Again, we've got really exciting things coming up. We've got the gym. There'll be another update video coming soon. There's been a lot of work happening there. The painters are going to be in soon, so probably about a month to get the place painted, which is pretty cool. It's going to be really nice when it's all done. Just working out who to get, you know, we might be working with Primal again, we might be working with Nike Strength, Minifit might be there as well, so we're just working out what to do in terms of that. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. Really excited to host loads of competitions there. But yeah, all in all, I'm feeling in pretty good shape. Body weight is slowly climbing up. I think I'm about 150 kilos in the morning, just under. So that's a really good sign. Before Worlds, I think it was like 143 kilos. Wasn't able to put on body weight, but slowly putting on weight now, which is good. Able to eat more. Obviously with all the wonderful meat that we get from Campbell's Meat. If you're wanting a wee bit of steak, check them out. But yeah, that's a little update from me. But yeah, huge shout out to Brian for the invite. Again, apologies that I had to turn it down this year, but hopefully next year I'll be in a better place physically to take up the invite. But for me, I'm knuckling down, concentrating on the Giants live shows. We've got Birmingham, then Glasgow, waiting to hear about Rogue. Hopefully I get a Rogue invite. I feel I'm worthy of an invite, especially after last year putting in a top 5 performance, winning Britain's Strongest Man, making the top 10 in the world again. So yeah, I feel that I'm in a good place to get an invite this year. But we'll see what happens. Obviously Rogue have their their point system, and yeah, whatever happens, happens. But I'll be ready to rock, and that's it. So yeah, hopefully that clears it up. I had a few questions, a few people asking if I'm going to be the reserve or whatever for Small. But yeah, I did get an invite, but I had to turn it down. But thank you for watching, guys. As always, please smile, please stay safe, and please stay spicy. And also, please never stop ringing that little bell. Ding-a-ling.